Welcome back. So let's talk a little bit about what to expect in the Ultimate Weight Loss Program. What does the program look like? How often do I come in? What can I expect to have happen? What is expected of me when I go home in between sessions? So let's talk about that a little bit. So once you start in the Ultimate Weight Loss Program, you're working one-on-one with a qualified, certified specialist in the area of weight loss with the Ultimate Weight Loss Program protocol. This means they're following my exact directions on how the program should work, and they are part of a large international team of professionals working on the weight loss problem, solving it and helping people find a path that works for them. And so there's a large team that will always be behind you to support you, not just the hypnotist that you are working with specifically who is the licensed provider. Now, with each session, you're in and out in about an hour. The only exception to that is your first hypnosis session on session 1 is about an hour and a half. Usually clients come in weekly for a 1-hour session. Like I mentioned, the first session takes about an hour and a half, but after that you're always in and out within an hour. And during each session, we spend the first few minutes doing kind of a diagnostic check. What's going great? Any place you're getting stuck, and then what we're going to work on next, the next agenda. And there are 2 types of hypnotic suggestions we could be giving you from week to week. We're always going to do hypnosis on every single session that you come in. There are a couple of sessions we may do a neurolinguistic process in exchange for that. These are both working with the unconscious mind, so it's going to have a similar type effect. But if you, of course, request, and if hypnosis is working well, we can also use that exclusively with you or give you additional sessions at no additional cost. And of course, we can talk about that one-on-one when you come in. But in each session, we start off with what's going great, where are you getting stuck, what are we going to do next? Then we do the hypnosis session for that particular day, and your hypnotist will customize your session and what they're working on based on your personality and based on your natural strengths and your natural challenges. And we're going to leverage all of the natural skills you're already good at, and we're going to try to minimize any potential stress points that naturally come up for you when you go about achieving a goal. And we all have those. So an awareness of those, again, is going to make the process feel a lot more like floating downriver instead of having to swim upstream, which of course we know you don't want to do. I certainly wouldn't want to do it either. Now, at the end of each session, you will be given up to 3 things. Usually there is a PDF of written materials for you to read and review and archive throughout the next week. There will also be some spoken word audios, and we can share those with you online, so you can download them to any device. We have a unique way of doing that. And when you're listening to those audios, those are spoken words. So you can listen to those in the car while you're doing laundry or mowing the lawn or doing chores around the house, whatever it is. Okay? Then there is a self-hypnosis selection to reinforce what we worked on in the office that particular week. These are all professionally recorded. They're never more than 30 minutes. And at the end of each live session, we'll give you a session to take home and work with, listening to over and over again for the next week until you come back in, at which point we give you a new set of material. Now, there's 2 types of suggestions. There's general suggestions, and then there's specific habits that we work on. A general suggestion could be a suggestion, for example, of being more aware of how food feels in your body, so you begin to realize that what you used to consider full is so overstuffed and uncomfortable you couldn't bear the thought of ever having to eat that much again. So in other words, we might start to give you a suggestion that what you used to consider full was so overstuffed and uncomfortable you permanently want to eat less. Not because you have to, but because it feels better. And remember, we said it's very important that each little change feels better than what you used to do for it to stick. So it's got to look good and it's got to feel good. When it looks good and feels good, you know it's going to stick. When it looks good and feels good, you know it's going to stick. So that's what we're going to do, okay? Now, there's also specific suggestions. An example of a specific suggestion might be that when you get down to a quarter of your plate of food or less, you'll push the plate away, leaving at least 2 bites or more on the plate. We know the average person who leaves 2 bites at the end of each meal will lose, on average, 17.5 pounds approximately in a year, give or take. That's a pretty good return on your investment right there. But it also does several other things, and we'll get into that in the program. There's so much logic in why we give you a suggestion like to leave 2 bites. Part of the reason is it actually reinforces visually and in between sessions that the hypnosis is working, because every time you push the plate away, leaving a couple bites on it, it's proof that the hypnosis is working. It's proof that you're responding to suggestion and is teaching you to be in control and to use your stomach to decide when you're done eating, not the plate size, not the portion size, not the container in which you bought it from. And that's another winning strategy when it comes to weight loss.